Max Scherzer and his comments. But he made some comments about the umpires, and he said that umpires should be regulated to minor leagues.
I've heard this through Twitter and around baseball.
Oh, breaking news.
What
We
happened?
have breaking news.
Let's rekindle that 90s rivalry between the Jays and the Braves.
I think the biggest question that I have, like, why did they call him up? It's not like they were struggling.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Saturday Sliders. Today is Saturday, April 27th. I'm Almar, and I have Armando next to me. And let's talk baseball.
Welcome everybody to another episode. You can watch us on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify. Like always, please subscribe, like, and follow. It will help our channel out.
Yeah, Armando, a lot of news to cover this week, including big name players hitting the shelf. Let's get to it.
Let's go. Let's go around the bases with this week's news. Let's start with Max Scherzer and his comments that he made this week. Obviously, he's getting closer to return. He's having a couple exhibition games like in Double A, but he made some comments about the umpires, and he said that umpires should be regulated to minor leagues. Obviously, he's saying like not all umpires are bad, but there's he's saying like 10% of the bottom of the umpires are just bad apples, and they should be able, if they make mistakes or having a bad time or having a hard time with players or the strike zone, they should be regulated to the minors and kind of be demoted or get promoted. What is your opinion on his comments?
Well, it's it's hard to comment on those ones. They're professionals. The umpires, as bad as they can be on some games, they're professionals, and that's beyond what the players can do, right? So they have their own association, everything. They have their own training. So it's a human factor. Yes, they can make mistakes. In game, it's hard to ref, it's hard to umpire, and as fans, it's we get like into the games and be like, oh, that's a strike, or oh, that's an out, that he's safe. But during the game, you have to put yourself into their places, right? In game, real time, it's hard to like make that bang bang call 100%, right? As much as they want to do, right? So
Right. I think that's the biggest thing you nailed it. This is a human element game. It's always been a part. The human interaction is part
yeah.
of the game, right? You can't bring too much um, electronics right to the game, right? It slows the game or changes the game, but like Max right now, he's pitching in the minors. They have an electronic strike zone, so the umpires just see the screen is green or red, right? That they don't make the calls. They just what they see on their tablets, right? So,
Yeah.
but obviously, it's always when there's big controversials um, in baseball with umpires, the electronic strike zone always comes to play, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's a big topic. Uh, to me, it's kind of like 10%. It seems like it's more like 40%. Right? I think he was a little too kind, but no, right? So, but you're right. When we're as fans, we're watching the game, and we just kind of like see like, whoa, like that's that's a very controversial games, especially last Sunday game against the Diamondbacks, the Giants. There was a lot of controversial calls. Both Bob, our skipper got thrown out. A couple of assistant coaches got thrown out. Some players got thrown out. So it's kind of like it's very, but it's frustrating, but it's also part of the game, like you said. It's human
Yeah.
elements. So
Yeah,
all
you
right,
can't get it 100% right. And yeah, have it electronically. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it right now.
right.
Electronic strike zone, right? So
That's interesting
mm,
because couple of years ago, I was completely against it, but I kind of I've been changing my mind around it. So it would be good kind of to see it,
Yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
we've seen it in the minors a couple years in a row now. So well, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah. Hmm.
So all right, let's go with the next topic. This is a this is a fun one. It's a fun game. Let's get to it. The Chicago White Sox are having a terrible start to the season, and the question is that I have for you: plus under 50 wins for the season.
They're projected to lose like 120, right?
Yeah, they are protected. Yes,
So I feel sorry for the for the Southsiders right now.
I
But
think they're yeah, like
plus minus
they're like
50, I'm going the under, bro.
you know what? I think they're like they're projected to win like 49 games at this point, right? So it's kind of like I'm gonna go over, but not by a lot. I think they're gonna catch a little momentum here and there. I think they can put over 50 wins, but not a
Yeah.
lot.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not going over 60, but but yes,
Yeah. I'll see the money line later after we're recording.
right. In another news, another struggle is talking about 50 wins. There's concerns about the Houston Astros having a bad start to this season. They're 8-19 on the season. What's your thoughts on this slow start for the Houston Astros?
They've had this for the past few seasons, and everyone's talking about it like, oh, they're laughing at Houston Astros right now, but come after All-Star, they'll be racking up the wins. But it's concerning, but you have everyone has to remember they're lacking all the starting pitching. At the start, they don't have Verlander and so that can add up towards how a team can win during the start of the season, right? Now they have Verlander, but one of their starting pitcher got injured too. So how can you get momentum on winning if you don't have that starting rotation? Yes, you can have all the hitting that you want, that you can, but both the hitting and pitching has to come together at some point during the season, right?
Right. I think yeah, it's actually to me it is actually alarming. Like
Hmm.
obviously in past episodes we have talked about you don't win a division in April, but you can definitely lose one, and this seems like it. There's some very concerns right here, and I think that could be in a sense. They lost their skipper, right? Dusty Baker
Yeah.
retired,
Hmm.
so there's a new skipper in the dugout. I'm not sure if he was a part of the staff years past, but it just seems, and it kind of seems like a new team, right? So they're kind of like getting to know each other, or they're just out in a big funk. So I think that it's alarming for sure.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
obviously, I picked them to win the division. At this point, it's kind of like, whoa, this is not a slow start. Like we're heading into May next week, right? So next Wednesday, and yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely some concerns there. So
So you're starting to switch your AL West now?
uh yeah, I am actually. Well, Seattle's playing really good ball right now.
Yeah. Hmm.
They have won four straight series. Uh, I think last week, I mean, like start of the week, they were just 500 team. Like I think like I was 13-12 for the Texas Rangers, and all of a sudden Seattle put a couple winning streaks in a row, got some momentum, and they're just different. They have taken a. They're not running away, but they're leading that gap,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? So
Yeah, Mariners had a slow start too, so yeah, and having those consecutive series win helps, right?
right, so exactly. So And let's in some other news. Right now, there's a Mexico City series, Colorado versus Houston. Um, this is a fun international games. Mexico City always comes out. Mexicans always come out and support any type of baseball, so it's good to see. And Houston won the game today. Um, Not very competitive, but Blanco, he's kind of like the only good positive things going for Houston right now. He had another solid outing,
Yeah.
punching eight batters. So it's good to see that. And then sad news. We have some injuries. Blake Snell and Cody Bellinger hitting the IL. Bellinger has a fracture in his ribs, colliding with the wall in outfield. There's not really much saying. Like I'm not even sure how long he's going to be out. And I'll talk about Blake Snell's and my Giants update. But it's really sad to see that for Bellinger, because just because he bet 2 years in a row, he has bet on himself. He's returned back to MVP seasons, like when we saw like in 2017, 2018, right when he was just like lighting the world on fire. So it's really sad to see that.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate for Cody Bellinger hitting the IL here.
And Omar, we talked about it last week. Jackson Holiday struggles, and he's actually been optioned to AAA. What is your opinion on him being sent down?
We talked about this last on our last week's episode. It's unfortunate that he was struggling mightily in the majors, and you mentioned this last week as well, that how come the Orioles called him up early. What's the reasoning behind it, right? Do they want him experiencing major league pitchers? Because they didn't need him. They didn't need him to come up this early, right?
No, and that's where and funny enough, because yeah, we talked about it, and now a lot of people are writers are questioning the same thing. Why did they call him up then, right? And what would this do to his confidence going forward, right?
Yeah,
So obviously he's young enough, and there's always high expectations for any top prospect, and obviously he's the son of a legend, so there's more expectations. But definitely you have to question the Warriors. Did he? Why was he called up so soon? And that's where it is. He came up too soon,
yeah. Mhm.
right? So, well, that's it for around the bases. Let's go with the curtain calls of the week. Armar, let's have your curtain call team of the week.
Oh, you're making me start.
Yes.
Give me a
Let's
second
change it
here.
around. Let's change it around. Let me hear your team.
All right, since I'm starting my curtain call team of the week for this week, I am going with the Cleveland Guardians. Armando, on our previous episodes, we keep mentioning that no matter how soft your schedule is, you have to take advantage of it.
Right.
And the Guardians are doing just that. And Cleveland has won five straight from the time of the recording, not including the games from yesterday and today. Three against the Oakland A's and two against the Red Sox. Over the years, the Guardians always find a way to keep winning, and this season is no different. Their hitters are always tough. They're always a tough out as they put the ball in play. And I'm still sticking with the Royals. My Royals pick to win the AL Central, but for my curtain call team of this week, hats off to the Cleveland Guardians.
Cleveland, definitely did not expect this from them. I thought that they were going to be more like a 500 team, but this is for me. This is a surprise to see them red hot. They're playing great baseball. They're getting great pitching, starting pitching, and they definitely have thrown their hat in the race for a very competitive division.
Yeah.
The great call. And I'm going with the team. They're facing each other right now in this weekend series, and that is the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves, they are playing great baseball, winning four straight series. They're 18-7 record, 8-2 in the last 10 games, and they're getting great contribution pitching with AJ Miller, mentor, four wins. Chris Sales with 33 strikeouts. He has three wins himself. Iglesias with seven saves. They're just pitching great. They're hitting um, great as well. They're second in um, runs, first in batting percentage, second in slugging. They're just playing great baseball. They're talented. I've talked about them before. Yeah, they're just really great. And they right now they're tomorrow they play the Guardians for whoever wins the game tomorrow wins the series. Right now they're 1-1, but they're red hot.
Good call. Good call on the Atlanta Braves. And those are our picks to win the National League title for this
Correct.
year. And that's a high praise because considering what the LA Dodgers did this offseason, right? But on the Atlanta Braves, like I mentioned earlier, if there's pitching and you can hit, if it comes together, they're really hard to beat, right? And the Atlanta Braves are doing just that.
Correct. Right. So perfect. Let's go with the pitching curtain call of the week. Almar, who do you have?
For my pitching curtain call of this week, I am going with Ranger Suarez of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ranger pitched today against the Padres in San Diego. His stat line: 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, one earned with 8 strikeouts and no walks. In the season, Ranger is 5-0 with 1.32 ERA with 40 Ks and a whip of .63. Ranger is a major reason why Phillies can push the Atlanta Braves out from running away with the NLEs. Like we mentioned, Ranger is a major reason why this Phillies team keeps winning, and that is why Ranger Suarez is my pitching curtain call of this week.
Oh, I love the pick. Juarez and just in general, the Phillies are just playing great ball, and they're gonna make it hard on the Braves this season. They're not running away with the division as much as the Braves are very talented. The Phillies are they're no slouch. They have talent, and yeah, they have talent, and they're a great ballpark. And surprisingly, how good they are against the Padres. The Padres are no slouch, and
Yeah.
they're making it look easy against the Padres. Perfect, great pick. I'm going with the closer. I love closers. I'm going with Jason Foley from the Detroit Tigers. He's having a breakout season. He has 8 saves, 12 innings pitched, 11 Ks with a 1.5 ERA. And also, Foley is 2-0 on the season. So, not just the saves, he is 2-0. So, he has 10 in scoreless innings in his 10 appearances.
Great pick there with Jason Foley. Like you mentioned, you like closers. When I saw your pick, when we were doing our script here, I love that you're doing really pitching a favor here. You're calling them out. Great season. This is your second time choosing a closer. They don't get much of an attention with regards to the pitching, the closers, and the relief pitching. Hats off to you, Armando, for choosing a closer. And again, Jason Foley, like 8 saves right now. Then that's against if they're playing Guardians or Royals, right? That like
Right.
those teams are hard to
Yeah.
to beat.
And also Foley has he's a right-hander with a 97 miles per hour fastball. So he's dominant. That's for sure. Perfect. Who is your precision player of the week?
For my curtain call position player of the week, I'm going with shortstop Henderson. Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles. Henderson is one of the main reasons that the Orioles are on top of the AL East. In his last few games this week, Henderson has is was 6 for 11 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. These Orioles are young and talented, and that is why I have them winning this division, like I mentioned when we're doing our picks. And one of the key contributor for this team is Henderson, and he is my curtain call player of the week.
Man, I love this. Henderson is very talented. He's explosive. He's always making a highlight when I watching the baseball, like or when I'm watching Orioles highlights. He's just always seems to be making some type of play or hitting a home run or something. Like it's he's really good. Good call on Henderson. And with my position curtain call position player, I'm going with the catcher, and he is aging like fine wine. Salvador Perez. He he just seems to getting better by age. Um, he's the leader of the clubhouse. This is his team. Um, he's a clutch hitter, and he's having a great start to the season. Right now, he is batting 350, 7 home runs with 26 RBIs. He is second in RBIs. What else can you say? Like he's just a very talented, great player. My hats off to him.
Yeah, I got sick and tired of Salvador Perez because the Jays played the Royals this week,
No,
and
that's right.
so
Yeah.
yeah, every time you watch Perez is like on base, a double, a single, RBIs right here and there. I was like, oh come on, this guy, he's not aging, right? So yeah, great pick on Salvador Perez. Like I said, just move on. I was sick and tired of
You
him.
saw
But
him
yeah,
enough, right? So
4 games, 4 game series. He's always on base. So I was like, yeah, good pick on Salvador Perez.
no,
He's
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 really
having a
good.
great season. He's having a great
He's
season.
and he's like he's been doing this for the last 3 seasons, right? So like and surprisingly, a couple of years ago, like the Royals gave him a long term contract, even at old. Even being at 33 years old, they were not afraid to give him a long-term contract, because he contributes and he is the face of the Royals. He's still he's I think he's the last player from the World Series
Yeah,
championship, right? So and I like the way he plays, right? So
great pick.
perfect. And that is it for the curtain calls of the week. Let's go with our Jason Giants update. And I'm going to start it off for the Giants update. Um, we heard news this week that Blake Snells and Alex Cobb have hit the IL injury list. Blake Snells, 15 days. I don't mind it, to be honest with you. He was struggling. Obviously, he had no spring training. He was rushing. You can tell he was rushing. This is a big one, a big, not even a question, but a statement saying like you need spring training. You cannot have players sign so late without no type of training, right? So
Yeah,
even if you're exercising, keeping yourself in shape, you still need live pitch batting, live pitching, right? So they try to rush him. He was rushing himself. There was a lot of expectations. And so it's only 15 day. He has had this recurrent injury. He has always come back. So I'm not too worried about him, but I think giving him some extra rest will be good, right? So that's why I feel. The more concerning is Alex Cobb being placed on the 60-day IL with a shoulder irritation. That's a little bit more concerning because Giants were hoping for him to come back in May or June, and now being placed, it's kind of like definitely there's going to be some setbacks, maybe end of June or July now, right? So, but hopefully he's an older pitcher. I also don't mind it because Giants are expecting to be in competition for the playoffs, so I prefer having him in the second half of the season. But now with those two injuries, the question is who's going to be the Giants' fifth starter now? The biggest question, a- the biggest, well, no brainer is Mason Black. I've talked about him since our first episode of spring training. He was one of those standouts in the spring training. He's a Giants top prospect, number 7 in the list from the Giants organization. He didn't make the big league roster. He was sent down, but now he's being there's some talks about him being called up. Bob, the skipper, did not rule that out. There is different plans for him to come up. And but right now, Mason Black at AAA, he has a 1.19 ERA with 25 Ks and 22 innings pitched. And last week, after our episodes, we heard of a trade between the Jays and Giants. Mitch White being traded to the Giants for cash considerations. I don't know anything about him. Omar, what can Giants fans expect to see?
Was he traded? Was Mitch White traded for a bag of loonies? Yeah, just kidding.
Some cash.
Mitch is Mitch White's a good player, but he's just the ad man out for the Jays with
Okay.
Yariel pitching well. And then Bowden Francis is in the lineup for a long relief situation, and then I think Alec Manoah is coming back from his stint in the minors. So Mitch White is just the odd man out here. He is projected to be a long man in the bullpen. He's not a starting. I don't think he can start, but that's not a knock on him. He's been
Right.
always in the bullpen, right? So I haven't really watched a lot of Mitch White games, so I can't really say how good his pitches are. But
Right.
hopefully he can help the not the Dodgers. Hopefully he hopefully he can help out your Giants here.
Well, if he can shut the Dodgers, that would be great.
Well, he was from the Dodgers, right? He came from the
That
Dodgers,
is
right?
right. He was drafted by
Yeah.
the Dodgers. That's
Mm.
right. Well, White he's actually he's a Bay Area um, person. He's not a kid,
Yeah.
so he's uh, he's from the Bay Area. He's coming home. It is a homecoming for him. So I did not follow his career at University of Santa Clara. So we'll see what he brings. This is more to do of the Giants did not make any during the offseason. They didn't sign any relievers. They felt like they had enough talent in the minor leagues, and the three young arms that they were called up from AAA has not worked out. They need some more growing up to do. So those three pitchers have been sent down, and Giants make this trade. So this is more to do like, well, Giants realizing we need help in the bullpen. So, but I'm excited to see him pitch, just to see to see what he has. Uh, and for the last comments that I make about the Giants, the Wolves of leaving runners on base has improved. There's This is a gritty team. This is what I'm liking this team. They're a gritty team. They have not put it all together. There hasn't been that one complete game, right, where the all faces of baseball. So they're improving. A lot of players have stepped up. They're not pre-us. They're not like complaining or being offended at the media of France or the manager. They're accepting the challenge. Bailey has improved a lot from a catcher perspective. He's not being run on as much. Like 2 weeks ago, I was concerned how many teams were just running at him, but he's like throwing some players out. So he has slowed down that. Um, he's getting a lot of national attention just because he's had a great week. He had a 4 game. He was one hit away from the cycle. He had a game-winning home run Friday night. So he's getting a lot of attention. But also like Matt Chapman now, he's batting over 300 in his last 7 games. He's improved his batting average to over 200 now. Like I think he's batting like 227 now, which is not a lot, but like he- there was 5 players. Um, they were all batting over under 200, and especially Mike Scherzer, he was batting like I mentioned last week. He was batting 118, but he has caught on fire, if you want to say that. But he has improved his batting average to over 200 now, which is great. So, but it's leaving you for more. Like we want more out of this team. We're hungry for more out of this team. So it's great to see, and they have put up some wins. They have put up some wins. They have won a couple series now, so they're sitting 4 in the last 10 games. They're keeping up around the 500 mark. So, but definitely we want to see more, right? So
Yeah,
that is my
that's true.
update for the Giants.
Thank you so much, Armando, for your Giants update there. Mixed bags again with the injuries to Blake Snell and Alex Cobb. That's unfortunate for both pitchers. Good on Mitch White. Hopefully he can help out your Giants. And the batting averages should climb up from the Mendoza line, right? But what just just hold on right now and hear me out for my Blue Jays update. You'll feel better.
Well, well, I also have to say like I'm being positive just because we have had like obviously we talked about last week Logan Webb. He's getting national attention, media. He's recognized as a true workhorse. He's an ace. He's so like he has 5 quality starts. And when the rookie, I talked about him last week, he had another solid outing this week, and he pitches tomorrow. Hopefully, he can get the win, or the Giants can win. Um, Jordan Hicks keeps being a good pitcher. Um, Giants lost a good start. He struck out 9 today in 6 innings. So, so like I'm being positive just because there's been some other players picking up the load, right? So if Jordan Hicks was not working out or when was not like struggle, like it would have been like season where last season we were like we had 2 quality starters and then it was all bullpen games, right? So it's kind of like, but that's not the case this season. So we're having good starting pitching.
Yeah. As a fan, you just like stay positive. However, how much how much pain it causes you. Well, again, Armando, thanks for your Giants update and for your Blue Jays update. Armando, the Jays took two out of three against the Padres in San Diego last weekend. And much like the previous two tries to sweep the series, the Jays cannot get the last game of the series falling on the third game. They were in Kansas City for a 4 game set against the Royals this week. Jays took the opening game, but the Royals took the last 3 games, including a five inning rain delayed game in game four. The Jays are horrendous with runners in scoring position, and they have not scored more than 5 runs since late last season. That's concerning. During the second game against the Royals, unfortunately, Kevin Kiermaier exited that Tuesday game with what is being reported as a hip flexor strain. Kiermaier had a hip surgery 2 years ago before signing with the Jays, We hope that Kiermaier's hip is not a long-term injury, as his center field defense is superb. With Kiermaier likely headed to the injured list, the Jays called up prospect Addison Barger of the Bisons, and we're hoping that Barger can ignite this Jays very stagnant offense. The Jays travel back home to face Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers this weekend and got shellacked on Friday to the tune of 12-2. And they lost that game 12-2 as Chris Bassett only lasted two and a third of an innings pitched. Earlier today, Jays faced Tyler Glasnow. It doesn't get any better for the Jays, much like all their games this season, was only able to put up one run against Tyler Glasnow. And as the Jays lost their fifth straight consecutive game and falling two games below 500, 13-15. And Armando, as I mentioned on our earlier episodes, the lack of additions to this offense by the front office will be costly. Them banking on this rotation to have a similar production from last season is a huge mistake, and it's showing right now. It's going to be a painful season for the Jays fans, and my World Series pick is not looking good right now. And that is it for now on your Blue Jays update this week. And like I told you, Armando, you'll feel better after this.
Well, I'm surprised the way how it ended the road trip because they started really good in San Diego. That was a very fun series to watch. I watched couple games, and that was a fun baseball to watch. Padres and Blue Jays going at it, but yeah, but then like to follow that against Kansas City, losing 3 out of 4, and then coming home to face the Dodgers, which Dodgers are they're getting hot now.
Yeah.
They're putting some wins together. They're scoring more runs. They're pitching great. So it's bad luck, right? So like because they were kind of like Dodgers were kind of like just around the 500 mark, but now all of a sudden they're putting wins together. So bad timing to face a hot
Yeah.
team, right? But it makes you question where's Vlad? But he is not. He's having a slow start to the season. Um, I was listening to the Major League channel, and they're saying like he needs to he needs to pick it up. He needs to pick up carry this team.
Um,
What
I,
is your
I
thoughts on
was
that?
I was gonna ask you about this. I saw this and we have proof before about this. Remember Vlad Jr. won the home run derby last year.
Yes,
In the home run derby, there's swings.
right.
You change it up a bit, right? After so players, I don't have the stats right now, but after winning the home run derby, some of the players struggle afterwards. And this is what's happening to Vlad right now. Maybe his swing got changed somewhere and he couldn't get back to that swing that he had before. I'm not sure. What's your thoughts about it?
Well, there's been actually been a lot of arguments. A lot of teams have actually has requested players not to participate in the home run derby because it does change your swing because you're especially the new home run format. It's a timer. You're just hitting so many home runs with the 30 seconds or whatever. So you just
Yeah.
put a lot of pressure on your swing, right? So it's been an argument for a lot of years now. So there's some truth to that for sure.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
because yeah, like I said, when Vlad first came in, he's hitting line drives. He's not
right.
hitting moonshots. Now he's trying to hit moonshots. That's not your game.
That's exactly because when I watched a couple of games this week, against the Padres, even against the Royals, I was thinking like, what happened to those singles or doubles? Like, right? Like he used to be very good at getting on base. right? So like I'm not sure what happened to him. Like it's now, um, yeah, you're not seeing that from him no more, right?
Yeah,
So
and it's
and I
affecting everything. It's
yes,
affecting
exactly.
everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but definitely, I feel like with the Giants, I'm saying like I'm hungry for more of the Giants, right? And that's how I feel about Blood. I'm hungry to see him more. I want to see more of him,
Yeah.
right? So,
And it's that like I'm not blaming we're not blaming Vlad Guerrero for the struggles of the Jays. It's the whole hitting right now. Everyone from 1 to 9, they're really terrible right now. Just that's understating right now, because
but
most of them haven't hit with runners in scoring position.
he is treated like a star, right? But
Yeah.
if you're gonna be treated like a star, you gotta play like a star.
Mm-hmm.
And at this moment, he's not playing like one,
Yeah.
right? So, but what's your thoughts on let's move on from Vlad. Hopefully he can turn it around. But like, what's your thoughts on Shohei making his appearances in Toronto?
I didn't watch the Friday's game. When I saw it was like what's that like it was shellacking. I was like, oh yeah. It's just but they were booing Shohei. Well, if I was there, I was gonna boo him too. So but that's us Jays fans being Jays fans, right? We're still butthurt from what he did last off season, and then everyone's making fun of Toronto in Twitter. Everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, Choi is en route to Toronto right now."
Yeah, the plane
So
finally landed, right?
yeah, the plane finally landed a few months later, right? So well, Shohei is a special player. Like he gets booed all around baseball anyway, but it was louder in Toronto, rightfully so,
Yes,
rightfully so. But
I
yeah,
I was booing too. I was
thank
booing
you.
from my couch too. Like, boo. Uh, but no, it's part of the game, right? So it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Hmm.
he's getting that treatment from the Jays fans, right? So that fake plane. So it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun in games.
Well,
But
well, I think when you're booing a player, a superstar player, it just ignites them even harder. Because
yeah, he
when
homer on the
yeah,
first
he
at
homered,
bat,
yeah. He was like, watch this.
and they were
This is
celebrating
what
in
you
the
missed out.
dugout
Yeah.
too. Like they're like even the Roberts were giving him a high five. I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
that's a very emotional home run,
Yeah.
right? So like he homers like quite
Yeah.
often. So, but
Well, we
anyways,
missed out.
yeah, no, I get it. It's frustrating. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah. So thanks for your Blue Jays update. I do want to let's end on well in another conversation. I actually forgot to bring this up and Kurt on the around the bases. But what is your thought of the Yankees fans booing Judge this week?
I saw that. I didn't see the actual game, but I saw the comments from Judge, Aaron Judge, when he was asked if what he thought about the fans booing him, and Judge acknowledged the booing. He's not doing his job, plain and simple.
He is batting 190 on the season. He's not hurt. He has 5 home runs and 15 RBIs, and that's 15 RBIs. Like, oh, that's quite a bit, right? It's not, but like he has homer twice this week with runners on base. He has 5 or 6 RBIs this week, right? So it's take those 2 homers and actually brings it to like 9 RBIs, right? So in the season, so
Yeah,
that's definitely is it concerning?
it is.
Definitely,
Because he's
right?
striking,
So
yeah, he's striking out a lot. He's
yeah.
striking out a lot, right? And this Yankees faithful will eat you alive if you're not doing your job well, right? So hopefully he can catch up. Well, not against the Jays, but but yeah, the booing, I can see that from New York faithful.
Yeah, you see that from the like you can have a bad game, just one game, and they will bully you, right? But when you start seeing like the homestand that they had and him batting under 200, I was like, whoa, that is concerning, right? So especially when you pay him the contract that he signed last week. I mean, last year. So like, you
Hmm.
definitely don't expect that from a star. So
Yeah,
I think it's too early, right? So like, you see this every year, like players have a slow start and then they just pick it up, right? But he's definitely not looking. He's not looking good.
yeah. It's gonna be tough for New York Yankees if Judge keeps struggling because the pitchers can just plan on, okay, we'll walk Soto. Just
Exactly, right.
face, yeah, we'll face Judge and Giancarlo, which can which can lead to back-to-back strikeouts, right? So it's gonna be an easy task for starting pitchers or all the pitchers that are facing the New York if Judge is continuing to strike out astronomically right now.
Yeah. So definitely, last year or 2 years, 2 off seasons ago, or whenever when the he was a free agent, that was one of the concerns that the Giants they didn't want to do. They didn't want to give him the long term deal. We were Giants were willing to offer him 5 to 7 years, like with the big payout, right? So
Yeah,
because it's kind of like he's getting up there in age. If he struggles, he's not going to live up to that those stats numbers, right? So like, so this is so the struggles that he's having right now. That's what the Giants organization were afraid of, and it's happening right now. So hopefully, it's just a slow start, nothing long term. Um, yeah, because Judge is he's a great talent. He's a fan favorite. People like to
yeah,
see him homer, right? So
yeah. Even for a division rival like
exactly
the
right.
J,
So
like the Jays, we don't wish anyone struggling mightily like Judge, right? So
yeah, hopefully there's nothing wrong with his back or lower body injury, right? Because he missed some time during the spring training with some injuries. So hopefully he's not uh, lingering around.
yeah. Hmm.
Well, thank you for watching another episode of Saturday Sliders. See you next week.
See ya.